the ANC dismally failed to use the parliamentary majority to bring about legislative changes that will have improved the living conditions of our people. We therefore appropriate that for the first time since 1994, the parliamentary majority of the ANC has been broken.
Hello everyone. So I just witnessed a remarkable wedding going on in South Africa. The ANC and the Democratic Alliance has created a unity government in South Africa. So this is the reason why you see me taking a sip of this glass of wine at this particular moment. Welcome to Unlocking Our Voices. I am your host, Greg Fuller. Now, when we are silenced, no one can hear our struggles. No one can hear our courage. No one can hear our pride. No one can hear our heritage. Silence keeps the world from knowing the stories of the Black diaspora. And it is for this reason Unlocking Our Voices was created. So we can bring you the stories that is going on in Africa. So we can bring you the stories that is going on in Latin America, in the United States, in the Caribbean, that affects Black people. So yes, South Africa has had their election, and 60% of South Africans reject the leadership of Cyril Ramaphosa as president. For the past 30 years, the ANC has been in power. And when you look at the Black masses of South Africans, we see that the economy and the land is still controlled by the white minority. Under the leadership of the ANC, Black South Africans have not gained much in terms of economic power, because the wealth and the power is still controlled by white minority. But no, that don't bother the ANC. And as a result, we see, even though they have lost 60% of South Africans' vote, the ANC still retains power because it has decided to join a marriage with the Democratic Alliance, which is the minority white political party in South Africa. So they have decided, meaning the ANC have decided, to save white capitalism in South Africa instead of the interests of the Black majority. But we're here to discuss the Umkhonto weSizwe political party that was created by Jacob Zuma. And so where did it came from? We had predicted that the economic freedom fighter would do well in that general election. But we see the Umkhonto weSizwe political party is now the third political party in South Africa. So who is Jacob Zuma, and why did the MK political party did so well? Now, I can only speculate in terms of why we see the MK political party did so well. The people's president, as he is known, Jacob Zuma, the charismatic leader that was forced out of the ANC because of corruption, has created a new party that has upset the political landscape in South Africa, that it even surprised Unlocking Our Voices. So, who is Jacob Zuma? When you look at Jacob Zuma was born in 1942, at a time when apartheid is taking its grip in South Africa, and the Black masses are under oppression, under white minority rule. The Bantu education, which limit the aspiration and the educational dreams of black South Africans. We see that Jacob Zuma was raised by a single mom, and by the age of 17, he joined the ANC, and he took part in the military wing of the ANC, the Umkhonto Sizwe military wing. And it is surprising that Jacob Zuma has renamed his political party after the military wing that he joined in 1962. And when you look at Jacob Zuma did not have a formal education, but he rose to the political aspiration, which to tell you that no matter your circumstance, no matter your poor, humble beginning in life, one can rise to the greatest aspiration as long as he has the will and the determination, even in the midst of oppression. We see that Jacob Zuma was eventually sentenced, and he served time in the infamous Robben Island prison, where Nelson Mandela, I believe, served 27 years in prison. And in prison, Jacob Zuma was able to craft his ideology, his vision, and the direction in which he wants to go. We see that he had aspiration to serve the poor. He had aspiration to fix the injustice and the racial tension in South Africa. And this charismatic leader, Jacob Zuma, was elected to presidency in 2009, the people's president, to serve South Africa, to uplift the masses of black South Africans. But when we look under the leadership of Jacob Zuma,
protect and promote the rights of all South Africans, and devote myself to the well-being of the Republic and all of its people.
Please raise your right hand and say, "So help me God."
So help me God.
it was rigged with allegation of corruption, and as a result, he was forced out of power. But still, that does not explain why did the masses or black masses of South Africans did not vote for the EFF. In our opinion, we believe that South Africa still suffer from racial issues. When you look at in South Africa, some still hold on to the racial terms that the white minority impose on them. When you look at the colored in South Africa, they do not see themselves or consider themselves as black South Africans. And as such, many of them do not embrace the economic freedom fighter aspiration that it has for South Africa, or for Africa in general, in which black South Africans will take power, in which black South Africans should have true political power, true economic power. And I suspect that the colored did not vote for the EFF. They reject the EFF platform under Julius Malema to nationalize, to give land back to black South Africans, to make the economy black friendly. Because we see the ANC in many respects don't seem to be black friendly. It is very white friendly. And so we see this marriage of convenience between the Democratic Alliance and the ANC has upset the political landscape in South Africa. So yes, we have to drink to this marriage of convenience for the ANC and the Democratic Alliance. But we suspect this is a death sentence that the ANC has just signed. Because in the next election, black South Africans will not forget what the ANC has done to their country. And so But I am a little bit confused because Julius Malema, no matter what one's misgivings or one's opinion, we know that he wants to move South Africa in which black majority have true economic power. And we see the MK under Jacob Zuma had an opportunity to make that happen, because after all, Mr. Zuma cannot resume the presidency because he has been barred from taking political office. So why create a political party in which you can never serve in any true political term in South Africa's politics? Why not create a bond and build the economic freedom fighter up? You see, when our leaders get in power in Africa, power tends to corrupt them. And so instead of enriching the masses of their people, they enrich themselves. And they forget the struggle, and they forget the cause in which they first signed up for. Jacob Zuma still sees himself as an ANC man, even though he has created a new political party, the MK. He still sees himself as an ANC. And after all, he was there from the very start. He was there through the trenches. He was there through the struggle. And he has rose to political aspiration in South Africa. He's a very shrewd politician. He speaks several languages. He speaks Portuguese, he speaks Russians, he speaks Swahili, and he speaks Zulu. So he is a very intelligent man that started from humble beginning. But I suspect he has lost his way as a result of gripping to power and holding on to power, while the masses of black South Africans don't have any economic power, don't have any political power. When you look at South Africa, they have tremendous xenophobic issues against other Africans, but no xenophobic issues against the white minority. None. And so we at Unlocking Our Voices, we are still in support of the economic freedom fighter under Julius Malema, if what they preach is true. But if Julius Malema also becomes a capitalist that will sell out the masses of black South Africans, then we will treat those traitors accordingly. But we should give the EFF under Julius Malema a chance to see the possibility of what South Africa can become for black South Africans and for Africa as a whole. But now we have to wait and see, because the marriage that has just taken place in South Africa between the ANC and the Democratic Alliance, it's like swimming with crocodiles. Until next time, we'll see you again from Unlocking Our Voices.
If you enjoyed Unlocking Our Voices, recommend us and let's grow our conversations, community, and power. Stay tuned for our next episode and don't forget to sign up for our notifications. Find us on social media at Unlocking Our Voices and on our website at www.unlockingourvoices.com. Thanks for listening and helping to amplify the voices of the Black diasporas.